Poco F5 versus the Xiaomi 13T, which is the ultimate flagship killer. Today we're gonna find out just that by testing the camera, the performance and every single little thing about these phones to determine which is the real flagship killer king. Let's go! So let's start with build quality. So both of these phones are made out of plastic, which is a little bit unfortunate, especially for the Xiaomi 13T, as the Xiaomi is a little bit more expensive than the Poco, but at least the Xiaomi has this vegan leather finish, while the Poco phone has just a regular plastic back, and I really like the designs of both of these phones. They both have dual speakers on the bottom and on the top, but unfortunately the Xiaomi doesn't have a headphone jack, and that's a little bit disappointing. But the camera system looks very nice here, especially on the back, and it doesn't leave a huge bump as well, so that's something that I like. And finally both phones come with a Gorilla Glass 5 and a pre-installed protector. Speaking about these beautiful 6.67-inch AMOLED screens, they have almost no difference except for the refresh rate, which on the Xiaomi 13T is 144Hz, while on the Poco phone it's only 120Hz, but they both use the same technology where it's adaptive and it will go down back to 60Hz depending on what you do. But it's safe to say that these phones both feel super responsive. Maybe the Xiaomi is a little bit more, but honestly you probably wouldn't notice it because they are super similar and everything that you are doing on them should be a breeze, at least it was for me. Now the biggest major difference about these two screens is actually the maximum brightness. The Poco phone can go up to 1000 nits, while the Xiaomi 13T can go a whopping 2600 nits, which is just amazing, and it definitely will serve you great, especially during these sunny days outside. Even though we won't be seeing many of these in the next few months. Simplified, both of these screens should be exactly the same. They have your HDR10+, plus they have the 68 billion colors and all the other shenanigans. But the Xiaomi 13T actually supports a slightly higher resolution at 1220 by 2712 pixels, which is a little bit of a weird one. But hey, more pixels, I mean, I don't complain. So moving on to the performance of both of these devices. Now here the things start to get a little bit weird because the Xiaomi is actually the more expensive phone, but unfortunately it's a little bit slower than the Poco phone because the Poco phone uses the Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2, while the Xiaomi 13T uses the MediaTek Dimensity 8200 Ultra. And don't get me wrong, it's not a bad chip. Like the Xiaomi 13T has amazing FPS in games and it runs everything smoothly, but there is just that little bit of speed that the Poco phone has, and Xiaomi can't really beat that. But that being said, I don't think that you will see much of a difference, especially when it comes to multitasking, because these two phones perform great no matter what. I have tested them with multiple apps and multiple games, so I think that you will be quite satisfied no matter which one you get. Still, if you prefer a little bit more speed, the Poco F5 is definitely gonna give you that. Now let's test this with some games. So first we start with Genshin Impact, and Genshin Impact is one of the heaviest games that you can get out there for phones. Now even though there is a slight difference in speed between both of these phones, the Xiaomi 13T performs quite well, and when I crank the settings up to the maximum, you can still get some solid 60 FPS out of this phone. But if you are in a battle or too much is going on, you might get a slight FPS drop for just a second. Now that's not an issue for me personally, but hey, I don't know, maybe it is for you, and in this case you might want to consider the Poco phone. And the Poco F5 doesn't disappoint here. Now I don't see so many stutters as I saw with the Xiaomi here, and that's of course because of the faster CPU, but hey, who knows, maybe with the Genshin's next big patch it's going to be the same. After all, this game gets heavier and heavier with each next update, and soon not many phones will be able to run it. And I'm super happy that actually with these budget devices you're able to gain some smooth 60 FPS, and I can't complain. Now you might be wondering, but wow, you didn't mention anything about the battery or the charging speed of these devices. Well, they're basically the same. Both of these phones have the same 5000 mAh battery with 67 watts of charging, so both of these phones should be charging for around 35 minutes from 0 to 100, and that's pretty amazing as it is. And if you find any value in this video, guys, and I would really appreciate it if you like this video, comment down below, subscribe to my channel, it would really help me grow it. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Alright, now let's talk about these camera systems. Both phones have a triple camera system. The Poco phone has a 64 megapixel main shooter, 8 megapixel ultra wide, and a 2 megapixel macro camera, which nobody likes. While the Xiaomi 13T has two 50 megapixel cameras, one main shooter, one telephoto, as well as a 12 megapixel ultra wide. Now, I have shot some samples on both of these phones, and it's not really a fair comparison because the Xiaomi 13T is a newer phone using the Leica lenses, and that gives it a great advantage over the Poco phone, which is both cheaper and uses an older camera lens. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Personally, I prefer the Xiaomi 13T, but you might like the Poco F5 in some aspects. And also, you should mind that there is also a price difference here. The Xiaomi 13T costs around $430, while the Poco F5 costs around $360. Still very respectable shots from both of these phones, but now we're gonna be moving on to the video quality. Now, before saying anything else, I would like to mention that the Xiaomi 13T actually can record in HDR10+, and that's why the video might be looking a little bit overly exposed to you or overly saturated, but I can assure you that the video quality on the Xiaomi 13T is just phenomenal, and I've been super happy with this device. Now, it's a really unfair comparison when it comes to the Poco phone because the stabilization, the details, the high dynamic range, everything is just better on the Xiaomi 13T, and that translates also into the other cameras of the device. So for anyone out there who wants to capture some nice cinematic footage, then this is definitely the phone for you, and I would argue that it rivals many other phones in a much higher price category. Now, both phones cap at 4K 30 FPS, which is a little bit of a shame since the CPUs definitely support 4K 60 FPS, but unfortunately you can't really get that unless you install something like Gcam or Open Camera. So I decided to test the front-facing video quality, and the Poco F5 has 1080p 60 FPS, but I capped it at 30 for the sake of this video because the Xiaomi 13T can only capture like Full HD in 30 FPS. But I personally think that the Poco phone has a little bit more natural colors compared to the Xiaomi, which has a little bit more warmer colors. But let me know what you guys think. Personally, I still would prefer the Xiaomi due to its HDR10+ video. But hey, everyone has their preferences. Now, as you can imagine, during nighttime, both of these phones don't really perform so well, but I will still give the point here to Xiaomi because it just has better stabilization, and I think it captures in a lot more light to fill in these gaps. And here you can see my friend Martin, who decided to photobomb me a little bit here. Anyway, guys, if you want to see a more detailed review on both of these phones, I have them in my channel. I'll link both of the videos here so you can check them out, as well as links from where you can buy them. Alright, after this comparison here, I would say that we have a winner. It's the Xiaomi 13T for me. Now, I don't know for you guys, but I think that this phone has everything that you would need, especially for half the price of the iPhone 14 Pro Max or the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. It has decent cameras, it has decent performance, it can run almost any game on the market, and with this nice leather back here giving it a premium feel, I absolutely love this device. Now, I should mention that I also love the Poco. Now, the Poco phone is one of these devices that offer you the best performance for the price. Now, it doesn't have one of the best camera sets, but I believe that for its money is definitely a steal. But if you want better cameras, and this is what usually majority of people are after, then the Xiaomi 13T is definitely the one for you. But let me know what you think down in the comments. I would really love to hear your opinions. Have a wonderful day, my friends, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye!